All right, friends, this has been a wonderful evening. Great steaks and even better wine. But now I'd like to get down to a little business. And most of you I've known a long time. Scott, our kids played ball together. George, we played tennis together. I consider each of you family. Even you, Carol. Even though we're competitors, we've been through good and bad times together. Lately, it's been harder to make a profit than any of us have seen in years. I know I could stand to see more cash coming in the front door. So, next week, I'm raising my commission rate to 7%. Just wanted you to know. Obviously, what you decide to do is entirely up to you.
Believe it or not, that was based on a true story. In the 1970s, a group of real estate competitors were convicted of fixing prices on their commissions while they enjoyed dinner at a fancy country club. And the convictions were upheld on appeal. Antitrust laws haven't changed much since the 70s. In fact, they haven't changed much in over 100 years. But the ways that real estate professionals can get into antitrust trouble have changed. So, welcome to Antitrust 101 for real estate professionals. Let's start at the beginning. What is antitrust law? Well, the heart and soul of antitrust law is the Sherman Act of 1890. And while antitrust law is commonly associated with the prevention of monopolies, it also applies to individual agreements to restrain trade. In other words, an antitrust violation occurs when there is an agreement, an understanding, or conspiracy among competitors that unreasonably restrains competition. In real estate, price fixing and group boycotts are the two most common antitrust violations. For instance, our host at the club wasn't just speaking about his own business. He was encouraging his competitors to follow his lead when he announced that he was raising his commission to 7%. He didn't have to directly say that, although that's what he implied. And his guests didn't have to expressly agree to charge the same commission. But when they did, they had formed an agreement that broke the law. Price fixing is always illegal. It's considered a per se offense, and that means there are no exceptions or extenuating circumstances that will excuse an antitrust violation. And the penalties can be stiff, triple damages, even criminal liability, to name two. But don't worry. We're going to cover what you need to know to keep yourself from accidentally falling into that trap. Now, generally, price fixing isn't accomplished by a written agreement. Who's naive enough to write down something that's illegal? Most price fixing violations are unwritten or verbal agreements. And agreements with competitors on other business practices like these are also illegal. Listing properties only on the same terms and conditions, representing a buyer only on the same terms and conditions, offering the same co-op compensation through the MLS, only offering certain types of listing agreements. Often discussions on these subjects are implied and take place in the most innocuous circumstances, over coffee, on the golf course, even on vacation, at a ball game. To avoid getting into trouble, remember, appearances count. Make sure that what you say to a competitor is exactly what you mean. Don't make statements that could be considered an invitation to fix prices or engage in other questionable activity. Just make your message clear. Okay, let's do a quick little self-test. You belong to the North Shore Swells Club, by invitation only. You all sell million-dollar homes, and once a month you all meet to discuss how to market them better. Can the members of that group agree to offer each other a higher commission split than they offer to other brokers? No, that would be price fixing. Consider disbanding or at least dropping out of the group. All right. At a meeting, you hear two competitors agree to fix commissions. So what plan of action would keep you out of trouble? A, stay quiet and don't contribute to the discussion. B, tell the group that it sounds like a decent idea, but don't say anything else. C, make it clear to the group that you don't want to be associated with their plan and then leave the meeting. D, all of the above. The only correct answer is C. Even if you stay silent, you could still be accused of joining the conspiracy. Silence may not be a sufficient defense. And you can avoid unintentionally being part of an illegal conspiracy by openly stating that you refuse to be associated with it. Or even better, be careful to avoid these types of discussions at all.
Nice putt. So, what are your people doing about that thing we talked about?
What thing? You mean the thing with the web ads or that new broker?
The thing with the website. They're totally gouging us on those ad rates.
Yeah, we won't be using them anymore. Everybody's on board at my firm.
Great, mine too.
Yeah, good luck staying in business without our ad revenue.
Exactly. They should be grateful that we even advertise with them at all, but not for long. So, what's the deal with this new broker that you mentioned?
You know, they're the new discount brokerage.
Oh, yeah. They're offering like next to nothing for co-op commissions on the MLS. So annoying.
Ugh, what do we do? I hate working with them.
Well, you didn't hear me say this, but it's simple. We're not working with them anymore. You should think about doing the same thing.
Huh.
I mean, just think what would happen if no one did.
That's not a bad idea. I'll make sure we're in too.
Just make sure it stays between us.
Relax, how will anyone know?
These days, the most common potential antitrust violations seem to involve group boycotts. I'm sure you realize if a group of agents or brokers collectively try to put another agent or broker out of business, that would be considered an illegal restraint of trade. I know you would never do anything like that, but isn't that what you're doing when you casually say to a colleague something like, "I don't think we should work with that new broker"? Without even thinking, you're now on your way to a group boycott. And this is also true if you agree with other competing firms to do any of the following: not cooperate with a particular broker, not show a certain broker's listings, not advertise in certain media, and not use particular suppliers or vendors. The targets of these boycotts are often competitors who offer new business models. They could also be vendors or suppliers. And obviously, no one has to work with someone they don't like, as long as that decision is made independently. But encouraging your competitors to go along with your decision to not work with that new guy in town can get you in trouble. And the same goes for suppliers and vendors that you think charge too much or you don't like for other reasons. Don't give them your business if that's your preference. That's fine. But don't ask or encourage your competitors to do the same. And under no circumstances should you say to your competitors anything like, "Let's do something to make these guys lower their prices." Okay, time for a couple more quick questions. If a multiple listing service creates its own real estate listing website, newspaper, or magazine for its participants to publish their listings, this could be considered an antitrust violation. True or false? False. Offering alternative ways to advertise their listings is a completely appropriate way for an MLS to serve its members. There just can't be an agreement among the participants to advertise only in the MLS's paper or on its website, and not to advertise elsewhere. Next, a group boycott is allowed under the following conditions. A, the boycotted firm is not a member of NAR. B, the boycotted firm advertises its flat rate commission structure. C, everyone agrees the boycotted firm is too aggressive or unprofessional. Or D, none of the above. The answer, of course, is D, none of the above. There are no conditions under which a group may agree to not do business with another firm under antitrust law. Don't even think about it.
Beverly, go to the association's Facebook page. You are not going to believe what's going on. There's a post about that referral company that's trying to join the MLS, and people are getting really worked up. Yeah. Max just posted that he is definitely not going to cooperate with them. And he's got 45 likes already. Call me back later. Let's talk about how to handle this. Great idea, Max. I've been telling clients that it doesn't seem like they actually take any listings, so why would someone want to work with them? I don't think they have any idea how to market property. Who knows? But I wouldn't be surprised.
There are lots of ways to get in trouble on social media, and there's lots of social media where it can happen. LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, blogs, not to mention texting on your smartphone and answering your email. The possibilities for unintentional antitrust violations go on and on. You don't need illegal intent to say something that's against the law, or something that someone will later claim was against the law. So be careful. Always remember that what you say in cyberspace stays in cyberspace forever. When it comes to avoiding antitrust claims based on your comments about competitors, your mom had some good advice to follow. If you don't have something nice to say, don't say anything at all. Here are some more important points. Don't answer email or make comments on websites that disparage other companies or competitors. And don't get into discussions in forums that are disrespectful to other firms or people. Having said that, everyone falls off the wagon from time to time, and maybe you didn't even say something nasty about someone, but you took the easy way out to explain your commission rate to a potential client and said something like, "It's the rate we all charge." Your statement makes it sound like everyone has agreed to charge that commission rate, and that's not legal. And maybe instead you said something like, "The association has a rule about our commission rates." The truth is, no association with an ounce of sense would adopt a rule like that. But don't panic. Follow up with that potential client to clarify your mistake after you talk to your firm's attorney. Okay, one last quiz question. Private communications between friends can't be antitrust violations because they are difficult to prove. True or false? It's definitely false. Even if it is difficult to prove, a conversation that results in an agreement to limit competition is always illegal. And what you think might be a private conversation or comment probably isn't as private as you think. Your best option is just to not make troublesome comments. Always assume your words can be heard or read by someone else.
So while the market is challenging, I'm hoping that we can all have a better quarter coming up. All right, guys? I know we can do it. All right, moving on to the next item on the agenda. Okay, I wanted to say a few words about Big City Realty and the change to their pricing structure. Now, speaking strictly for myself, I'm not pleased at all. I mean, it's tough enough in this market trying to make a living without Big City. But after speaking with several of you privately, I think we need to go further and really show Big City that their structure isn't going to work. And until they make changes to it, they're on their own, completely on their own, if you get my drift. Now, obviously, we can be a lot more effective if we can...
Oh, wow, look at the time. Is it 2:18 already? I have an important call scheduled for now. I'm so sorry, I really need to go. Donna, please make sure you note in the minutes that I left and was not present for this discussion. If it continues after I leave, which it probably shouldn't. That's Tim Evans, E-V-A-N-S. Don't forget the S. Okay, I'm out of here.
Here's a few more thoughts about participating in association meetings with competitors. First, there should always be an agenda for the meeting with specific topics. The invitation should identify the people who have been invited to attend, and that should include everyone in the association who might be interested, not just the popular kids or some other select group. The agenda should be provided ahead of time and spell out exactly what is going to be discussed. And when you get there, be sure someone is taking minutes. And the minutes should be on stationery that has the association's name on it, not on someone's business letterhead. And after all that, if it turns out that the group still discusses boycotts, price fixing, or other questionable activity, get up and get out of there, like our buddy Tim EVANS. Do not pass go, do not collect $200. And when you leave the meeting, make sure that the person taking minutes notes the time you left and the correct spelling of your name. Then be sure to tell your bosses what happened. Which brings me to my final thoughts for protecting yourself. Be aware. Make sure that you and others in your firm don't do anything that seems like an anti-competitive agreement. Don't participate in a discussion with competitors that involves how you intend to do business with other competitors, consumers, or service providers. If someone invites you to join them in a boycott or price-fixing arrangement, walk away, far away, and contact your attorney to find out what to do to protect yourself from any claims that you participated in an unlawful agreement. The Sherman Act has been around for over 125 years, but there are always new ways of doing business and new applications of the antitrust law in our constantly changing real estate profession. So stay educated. See you next time.